something that I have learned from my connections with my dad in spirit, but also as I've been offering connections to others with their loved ones in spirit, is that our loved ones know the current events in our lives. They're able to talk about them. And they also know our thoughts, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we might need to hear from them. And my dad showed me this once in a really fun, but also like sci-fi movie. Am I in a sci-fi movie? Way. And sometimes I think I've just needed such concrete evidence for me to grow in my belief and know that these things are real. And I'd like to share that today. Just before my 40th birthday, within the weeks before, in my mind a lot, I was sort of lamenting this is a really big birthday. My dad's not here. I was thinking a lot about my 39th birthday. We had him over and we knew that it was definitely, he was in his last months. And so I was just sort of, I guess in a little way, feeling sorry for myself that, my dad wasn't going to give me a card, or he wasn't going to have anything real special to say to me per se. And that was just sort of going on in my head. And 2 days before my birthday, I went to my mom's house just to drop something off real quick. And just before I left, I just took a pause and I looked at a picture that was on my mom's mantle of her and my dad. And immediately in my head, I heard, check my pockets. Okay, I knew that didn't come from me. And so I went into the closet where my dad still had all of his clothes and started going through his shirt pockets. But there's a lot of clothes. So I went through, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the shirts that were hanging, and I stopped and I was just like, what am I doing? What am I even looking for? What am I doing? And then my nostrils started flaring. I knew that I wasn't doing that. And then they flared again. So I took a pause and I just sort of quieted my mind and tuned into my heart, because that's what connecting is. And the impression that I had was that my dad was going to use nostril flaring to guide me to the pocket. Now you understand why I say this seems like it's a sci-fi movie. I get that this sounds crazy, because it does. It sounds crazy. In that moment, I was alone. No one's going to judge me. I'm going to try this, because what do I have to lose besides, feeling crazy to myself? So I took a step back and I thought, okay, there's actually multiple closets in this house where my dad has items with pockets. So I'm going to just start by standing outside this closet and asking, is this the closet? And so I did that. I stood outside that closet that I was in and asked, Dad, is this the closet? And I had nothing. There's no nostril flaring on my face. So I went into the hallway and went to a different closet. It was like the 2 of 3, and asked my dad, is this the closet? And I got nostril flaring. So I opened the closet door and I said to myself, okay, Dad, I'm going to go item by item. And when I get to the jacket that has something in the pocket, you're going to make my nostrils flare. And so I touched just the top of every single coat, and I'm going along and I'm near halfway through and I get the nostril flares. And it was his motorcycle jacket. I took a huge deep breath and I was nervous. I was so scared, because if you can imagine that I've now talked myself into the fact that my nostrils are flaring and my dad's going to tell me what item he has something in his pocket. And if there's nothing in the pocket, I'm going to feel like I've gone off the deep end and all of this is made up, and all of these experiences that I've had they must be coming somehow from my mind. But I had to trust. So I put my hand in the pocket and pulled out his motorcycle kickstand this is no big deal. It's just a motorcycle kickstand. But my dad led me to the item that had something in his pocket. I had no idea in that moment why he would do this. Not a clue. Stick around and you'll understand why. The next day, was the day before my birthday, I went into Walgreens to pick up a couple items I needed. I was, going kind of fast, breezing through, and as I walked by the card aisle, I got the nostril flares. And it made me pause. And then I took a step back and just understood. My dad wanted to pick me out a card using the same method that he told me exactly what coat his motorcycle kickstand was in. Could this be real? How is this possible? I went down the card aisle. I did go to the happy birthday section because I just understood now what he was doing. But I didn't open any cards. I just went like mini section by mini section, just standing in front and letting him guide me with the nostril flares. And he did. I got to a particular section, my nostrils flared, so I knew that the card he wanted for me was in this section. And then all I did was put my hand just like this, card to card to card to card to card, without picking it up, without opening it. And I wasn't even really paying attention, to what was on the card. I mean, a word might pop out at me, but I really was methodically trying to just be open while I was putting my hands on cards so that I could receive correctly. And I put my hand finally, maybe, over the 10th or 12th card, and I got the nostril flares. So I picked it up, put it in tried on purpose not to look at it, put it in the envelope, never opened it, bought it, and went home. As I started this video, I was talking about how our loved ones know our thoughts. And, in those couple of weeks leading up to my birthday, I was kind of pity-partying myself a little bit. Not only is my dad not here, but, he's not able to say anything nice to me, and it's such a big birthday and that kind of thing. Well, when I opened this card the morning of my birthday, let me read it to you first. This is what it says. First of all, it has a father holding his daughter's hand, and it says, "You'll always be the joy of my life." And when you open it, it says, "Daughter, let me tell you something about dads. We don't always know what we're doing. From day one, it's a play it by ear kind of thing. But as I've muddled my way through being your dad, there's something else I've been doing. I've been loving you with all my heart, always have, always will. Happy birthday." If my dad could read my thoughts in the last couple of weeks leading up to this card, and even really in the months prior, and this is exactly the type of card that he would pick out. Talking about, muddling along, and we don't always know what we're doing. Maybe we don't always get it right, but I've been loving you with all my heart, always have, and always will. It's exactly the message I needed to hear. And he brought it to me in such a fun way through the signals taking me to the exact pocket he wanted me to find something in. And it's more than that. It's also about the journey of belief, the journey of trust. And this is a big one. Let love in. Let love in. What if we just allow? What if we just believe that something like this is possible? What if we just be open to the idea that our loved ones can still connect to us? I've had more beauty in this last year of my life than I could have imagined possible for myself. And I know I'm still on this journey. And I know a part of that is bringing these messages to you too. Let the love in. It will make all the difference.